Newsfirst, Newsline with Faraz, Shauketaly.
And a wonderful morning to you. This is Newsline, live as always from the Newsfirst studios in Dawson Street in Colombo. And we broadcast on Tv1, which of course is part of the Capital Maharaj Group. Now then, this morning, it's an absolutely marvelous morning. Here we go. All sorts of frauds happen, and this is actually, though this is a fraud of gigantic proportions, which has captured the imagination of the world's cricketing community, this morning we're here to talk of something quite different, but fraud nevertheless. And after all, what would Newsline be without talking about frauds and corruption? But this one is it's about cybercrime, and cybercrime has grown along with the popularity of social media networks and so on, different platforms, and the explosion in the usage of these platforms. And to discuss these matters with us is Senior Professor from the University of Sri Jayawardenepura, Professor Dr. Kennedy Kamage. Good morning to you, Professor.
Good morning.
And thank you very much for coming and telling us. I think we ought to, first of all, get it out of the way, and if you would let us know, what really is cybercrime? What is cybercrime?
Cybercrime can define in a different way.
Yeah.
Anything, any person who tries to get some additional advantage over others through the computer related activities, we can call cybercrime.
Right.
Now cybercrime is a trend today. It's increasingly going very fast way,
right,
locally and internationally. This is a very simple way. Even the day-to-day activities also, what we deal with the day-to-day activities, you can find out the kind of errors, kind of failures, and kind of some people get over advantage, others are not get. Now that kind of a situation we call cybercrime.
I see. And how serious is the problem?
That is very serious. The people don't feel immediately the seriousness. It takes time, because in the computer world, you can cover one incident with another incident very easily and very quickly. Then people don't feel it. I had some unfairness. Some people feel after 1 year, after 2 years, in the long term they realize that, okay, I have paid over, or I had paid under, or some issues I have. Some kind of issues coming little later. Especially field of accounting, this is a big, because
it's a big problem.
Yeah, this is a big problem. Now most of the accounting system today computerized. 99% of the company's accounting system is connected with the computers. Now when you are dealing with the computers, when you transfer the money from one computer to another company, one account to another account, now there are things can happen. That means the auditors or maybe some people, they're not aware about the much. They go with a traditional mechanism always, and you can't feel the vouchers today. That's all vouchers are virtual vouchers, or it's a digital documents. We are transferring from digital document from one section to another section. Really, not like earlier. Earlier, everything you have a legal form, legal signatures, legal you can find the person who check, who verified, who inspect. There are things there. But now, everything in a minute, we transfer from one system to another system. Within this process, there are so many malpractices can happen.
You said mainly to do with accounting.
Yes.
Have you got any sort of examples?
Yes.
That one that maybe without mentioning names you can tell us about that?
Very, very simple, our day-to-day activity. I think we all have I think today most of the Sri Lankans, they have a credit card.
Or a debit card.
Debit card or a credit card. You get monthly statements.
Yeah.
You never check that monthly statement figures. You are not going to verify with the monthly statement figures with the slips or a vendor slips.
With your
When you buy the
vendor
goods,
slip,
vendor slip.
your
When you-
receipt.
your receipts.
Yeah.
When you buy the goods, you sign and hand
Yeah.
over the copy to the vendor, and you have a copy of that.
Yeah.
You are not compare with that copy with your credit card statement what you send by the bank.
Right.
You not normally we don't do.
Or your credit or debit card.
Yeah.
It's a card statement.
Yeah, it's a statement you are not checked.
Right.
If you go through with 5-6 statements or a 5-6 month,
Yeah.
maybe you can find out certain things which you are not bought or you are not purchased. Some cost is there,
I see.
right? You can talk to the certain banks. You can talk to certain banks. Definitely, certain banks say, "Sorry, this is an error. This is a system error." Then you can do some adjustments and all. But that is not the issue, right? There are things happening like that everywhere.
I see.
It's a very
I see.
simple day-to-day malpractices.
I see. We've got some clips here to sort of cards to play, to have a look at it. So there are different types of fraud.
Yes.
And what are they? Mainly.
The occupational related
Yeah.
and other than the occupational related.
Right.
Right.
So what are occupational related, like fraudulent statements, financial, non-financial, which you just said? What about this asset misappropriation, theft of cash, fraudulent disbursements, inventory and other assets, bribery and corruption?
Yeah, especially this overvalue of the assets.
Right.
Now, most of the financial statement, company final accounts,
Yeah.
nowadays connected to the internet
Right.
through a PDF version or maybe in the HTML version.
Right.
You can go to the website, you can find the company's annual reports.
Yeah.
Now, especially people who are dealing with the stock market, they want to check the financial statement, whether this company have a good value of the assets,
Yeah.
or what is their liability sides and all. Now, I'm not talking about the Sri Lankan system. In an international system,
Yeah.
people always do, they modify without knowing to the auditors, without knowing certification from the auditing process, they modify the assets value.
Well,
They
that's
overvalue the assets.
so that's a bit misleading and it doesn't help the
Definitely it's
investors.
misleading to the investor's point of view.
Yeah.
And then they think, okay, this company is fine, they have a lot of values, right? Assets are very good. Then they do investment at last.
Right.
Finally, what happened? This is not a reality.
So how does one detect that? Do companies, are there companies who specialize in providing a service that keeps the data, the integrity of the data and so on?
There are companies who are specializing and doing such a things. These are illegal, unethical, but there are companies. But one thing I will tell you, the cyber crimes
Yeah.
are popular among the white collar jobs people. The
I
white
see.
collar mean the company executives or accountant or a financial section, big people.
Yeah.
Right, the managers level.
Yeah.
Not like the below level people. We
Right.
call not come under the blue collar employees. This is totally for the white collar employees job because they are knowledgeable about the computer science and they know some modifications worthful or show up some CEOs, not
Yeah.
in Sri Lanka, internationally. Now CEO want to say that after I got the job, after I became a CEO, my company doubled the profits or tripled the profit or performance as well. Then some modification, the different manner they can do it. That is what I want to tell you. This is popular among the white collar employees.
The white collar employees. But then there's also this other thing, isn't there? Now, in between, I've been reading in the papers and hearing it on the radio and watching it on the news. This national payment platform.
Yes.
Now, you said, and you're quite right, I don't think many people really sit down with their statement and their little slips
Yes.
and compare. But at the moment, this national payment platform is done, I think, being done by the central bank. So we're a little bit more safe in our minds anyway.
Yes.
Because as long as we're not buying bonds,
Yes.
you know, that bond is a
I
bit
know.
of another thing. But anyway, not to put too much of a joke on it, we are secure because the central bank is handling our data. But now, Professor Kennedy, now if you have a look at everything else that is in place in Sri Lanka, for example, we don't have any specific data protection laws, for example. So we have very limited privacy laws. So whereas in the mature democracies of the world, we have both those in place. We have laws to protect our privacy, we have laws on data protection and so on. So in Sri Lanka, in the absence of that, we the people obviously get a bit concerned when there are new proposals being put up to bring this payment platform and that payment platform to some private company, to individuals who are untested. What is your take on that? Are we right to be fearful?
Yeah, it's very, very interesting topic. Honestly speaking, we all in risk.
We are
as
all
a
at
community, yeah, we all at risk. We are as a community, we are
as a
people,
community of
general public,
of card online payments.
Online payment system, because nowadays, you know, even the banks also go to the online, everything, even the utility payments also doing online.
Yeah.
Right. We all at risk level, honestly speaking. The reason is we have to find out the reason why people are doing frauds rather than put it to the law. Law is fine, I understand. There are some central bank or some higher authorities who are going to monitor this one is fine. That's everywhere you can find out such an organization. But my personal feel is we have to change our general public or our people attitudes. That is very important, I think.
But, yes,
yeah.
The fraud triangle. Let's see if we can bring the fraud triangle.
That's a good way I can explain.
There you are. That's
yes.
the fraud triangle.
Yeah. You can see here.
So there's pressure.
Yes.
There's opportunity.
Yeah.
And there's rationalization.
Yeah. This was introduced by the Donald Creasy. And he mentioned that why people are, especially white collar people, why they are doing frauds.
Yeah.
Because of the pressure, because of the opportunities, because of the rationalization.
Yeah. Now then,
if you can, you go ahead.
I just want to take this fraud triangle and put it into perspective in terms of the national payment platform.
Very good.
Now, we already have a system that works with the central bank and so on. Why would we want to bring in some private companies? Already you say we are at risk anyway because of cyber crimes and so on. And so the central bank is the guardian, if you like.
Yes, yes.
They are the guardian, they clear our money, they pay the vendor, they allow our banks to debit our accounts and so on. So there is a certain amount of safety, especially because the ownership of cards, comparative terms, in Sri Lanka, if you compare regionally, Sri Lanka is not very high. It's only, the boom is only starting now in terms of card usage and ownership. So in that context, the national payment platform, when we read that the government is proposing to give these to private companies, sometimes new companies, should we be careful? Should we be concerned?
Definitely we have to be careful, because it looks like we are giving our whole internal information to someone else. Now, you know, nowadays people are talking the Facebook problem. Facebook, they have taken our all personal data and they sell.
Yeah.
We can't say 100% assurances they don't do.
And the Prime Minister said yesterday, I watched him on television, he said that he was also, the United National Party, were also approached by these people.
Correct.
I also heard he said that they didn't use it.
Yes.
But
it's another business today.
But you know, when an institution like the central bank supervises a payment platform, the people are quite rightly feel a little bit on the safe side. But then, would that be a good thing?
Yeah.
I mean, the central bank is the central bank.
Yes.
But on the other hand, when we have people like who've been later found to be involved in the bond scam, for example, and then you look at them proposing payment platforms to some unknown outfit, then the people should be concerned.
Now, what I feel in central bank, they play a wonderful role, but only the issues, they are not updating with a new skills and with a new knowledge.
Right.
They still go with a traditional pattern.
But our central bank,
yes,
and as bankers usually are treading carefully. They don't want to rush into things. Whenever I've spoken to central bankers, they say, yes, we know, but we like to study every angle.
Yes.
And we don't want to rush into things.
Yes.
Because the people's monies are at risk.
Yeah.
So, which is why some of these central bankers, most of them I've spoken to, I haven't yet met one who is in favor of moving away to another platform run by people who have been involved in all sorts of scams. How confident are you that the people are right in wanting the central bank to handle these transactions? Like I say, because of the lack of other mechanisms.
Yes. For my belief, we need good training and development. I think the central bank really necessary good skillful employees who can find out the cyber crimes, who can find out the something differently. Now the crimes are different rather than the 30-40 years back what we had. Something are quite different, especially currency.
So what you're saying is that this exercise is in good hands with the central bank, but they need to change.
They need to change.
Right.
They have to change, I think, as a 360 degrees they have to change.
But as long as they change still in the traditional manner. I really feel that. So you want them to be a bit more modern?
More modern and more technology-oriented way.
Well, okay.
Yeah, technology-oriented.
We're going to ask you another question, but when we come back after this break. Don't go away. After all, this is Newsline. And welcome back to Newsline. Now then, we're in the company of Professor Kennedy. Now then, Professor, you say that the central bank should be more progressive and they should do a 360-degree turn.
Sure.
But I noticed that you say that it is the central bank.
Yes.
Because do you agree then that the central bank is the safest bet, but they need to make changes? Should they own the business or should they merely supervise the business?
No, due respect to the central bank.
Yeah.
They played good role and very interesting role, I think, 10 to 15 years back.
Right.
But now whole transaction systems and mechanisms are changing, has changed. Now issue is this, central bank is not familiar to these changes because of the lack of educated people. Maybe
the central bank are full of professional, highly educated people.
It's true. All economics subject is concerned, they are law, economics and accounting, they are well.
So you mean they
some new trends, I am talking about the new trends, especially
some new skills.
New skills, especially, they have to find out something before happening.
Yeah.
That is what we really need. After the things are arising,
so they need to be proactive.
Yeah, they may be definitely.
They
have
must
to
be
in advance. Yeah, in advance they have to say that to the government. Okay, this is the things going to be happen. We have to protect that. We have to prepare for that. They have to be aware with that. But the only thing is they don't have such a mechanism. Somebody inform this is happen. we had issues now, then they actively involving with that.
Have you ever spoken, have you had an opportunity to speak with, say, the governor of the central bank? Have you written to him?
I'm also one of the trainer to the central bank, honestly speaking.
So then it's your fault then?
This means I'm not training central bank employees, especially concerned that they have some training program. We conduct the training. I'm a resource person to them.
Right.
That is for accounting and budgeting and everything is concerned. But what I feel that as a whole, central bank, they really need a new skills, new knowledge, new experiences people, rather than depend on the private institutes.
Because the private institutes?
Because,
Why?
we can't trust 100%. We can trust 100% central bank. This is our bank, our main bank, our main body, right? We have to further strengthen them. We have to put more skills to them. They got
to invest money and people.
Yes, especially government want to send them to the good countries and give a good training, especially new topics like, cyber.
Actually, you're so right, Professor. That's where the money should be spent.
Yes.
Not on 2 million rupee jackets and fancy hotel trips around the world. The abuse of the card that's given to governors, and for them to fix figures and do all sorts
training and development.
Training and development.
We have to invest more money, especially we have to train many people. I think qualified people are there in the central bank.
Does it annoy you, Professor, when you read in the papers? You must have read in the papers. There's so much of billions of rupees worth of fraud and so on. Does it annoy you? And as a Sri Lankan citizen, are you sad when you read in the papers about the extent of this bond scam, and then you're telling me here and you're telling the people of our country that the central bank needs to spend money on training? Does that make you sad when you see the amount of fraud and then you see the money is not being spent on training and research?
Yeah, it's a sad story. There's no two words for that.
Yeah.
But we have to think about very carefully. We have to make a good system in the country.
Yeah.
We don't want to depend on the people. We don't want to depend on the politicians' ideas and all.
Yeah.
If you can make a strong system, then nobody can't interfere with the central bank or any other organization transaction process. Strong system we want to establish today. That is what my personal belief. I think the central bank have a good employees, skillful employees, only lacking with a new training, new development, rather than what you said exactly correct, rather than doing a trip for a shopping, the good training program, and with a good output we have to train.
Somebody suggested some time back, and we have some messages about it as well, that the central bank should continue to monitor, to supervise, but they shouldn't run it.
Yes, they have to go beyond the role. I think according to the act, they monitor and supervising.
Yeah, but they also partner. They also own part of the current payment platform. Shouldn't that ownership be sold off? Shouldn't it be given to some other government institution? Perhaps just the Treasury should be the owner of it, of that shareholding, and not the central bank.
Yeah, that's what. Not only the central bank. There are some other organization, all government organization, also involving with that. My personal belief is our system is quite a old today. Even though we do some modification, but that modifications are not exactly suitable to the country's development. We have to go ahead with a new method, new mechanism, new system.
But the new system is the electronic media. I mean, nowadays, most people get their news through the electronic media.
Exactly.
That
is a trend.
That's the trend. That's the new trend.
Yes.
So we need to move more and more towards this paperless society. And then the central bank. Do you agree that one of the things wrong that the central bank is doing is that they continue to own part of the national payment platform operator, rather than divest the shareholding and continue as the monitor, as a supervisory function, which is what the central bank is all about anyway.
Yes.
Do you think that is the best way forward?
No, it's not the best way. I think they have to be proactive, and they have to think about.
What about their ownership? Should they divest their ownership?
No, they can't. They can't transfer their ownership to another person, right? Because
another government institution,
yeah,
like
definitely.
the Treasury. Why?
Yeah, the reason is central bank is the main platform or a main organization. They have a certain roles to play and protect the whole country situation.
Right.
And I think central bank, they have to think about more about the people, especially the community aspect, and rather than somebody else's decisions they don't want to implement.
Yes.
They should have to openly they have to criticize the ideas, openly they have to give new ideas to the people, and they have to more involvement than right now. They have to more involvement to the general public and the grassroots development of the people.
The member of the general public who's watching this is asking me about blockchain.
Yes.
What about that?
That's what I think that's make more dangerous in situation, especially money transferring and all kind of things.
Right.
And those things, I think the central bank. That's what I told you very beginning.
Yeah.
Before, central bank want to understand such a situation before that. They should have a mechanism. What is happening? After happening something, you give some solution. Useless today.
Yeah.
He is wasting money, so resources gone.
Yeah.
I think before happening something, you have to come up with some kind of a mechanism. Central bank doesn't have such a mechanism. Like it can be a CID kind of a role, but they have to be. They should have a people around the country. What is really happening? What are the really money transactions and the related matters, especially people's doing businesses and everything. They should have to know that before some bad things happen.
Well, Professor Kennedy, I am sure that a number of central bankers who watch this program or who will watch it will not agree with you, but that's good for debate, because I'm sure we'll have a more robust program, perhaps on Face the Nation and so on. Today, though, on Face the Nation tonight at 9:30 p.m. tonight on TV1, Face the Nation is bound to be very interesting. Do tune in and watch Face the Nation TV1, where one of the guests will be Sujiva Senasinghe, and they're going to be talking about all sorts of things to do with leadership and the crisis in leadership. Professor Kennedy, thank you very much for your time on Newsline. We look forward to welcoming you and continuing the debate on the National Payment Platform and the Central Bank. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And that's the way it was on Newsline this morning on Monday. We wish you a great week ahead. Take care. God bless.
Newsfirst, Newsline with Faraz Shauketaly.